Welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan and I help freelancers grow their businesses. I've said a million times before that my Revenue Spark students and I use LinkedIn religiously to source leads and connect with our ideal clients. I'll leave a few videos below. If you're interested in this, you might find them helpful. In this video, we are going to talk all about LinkedIn invites and how you can use them to make a really good first impression on your leads. First, let's talk about who you should be sending LinkedIn invites to. Now, in this video, I'm not going to get into sourcing techniques specifically. I've talked about that before, so I'm going to leave a few of those videos in the description below. Rather, what I want to say is that you should be sending invites out strategically. Here's where a lot of freelancers go wrong. They are very fixated on the number of connections that they have, which is a vanity metric. Okay, it's no different than your number of followers on Instagram or how many likes a post gets. That number doesn't really mean anything if you're connecting with all the wrong people. You want to make a habit of sending invites to people in your industry, in your niche, in your line of work. Not every invite has to align with this, but many, if not most of them, should. When you do this, you're accomplishing two things. First, you are growing your network and filling it with the people who really matter to your business. And second, you are telling LinkedIn what type of professional you are and what type of people you want to connect with. And LinkedIn's algorithms are going to help you meet more of the right people. So you're starting to find people that you want to connect with on LinkedIn. What's the best way to do that? Now, your relationship with your leads starts the moment you send them an invite to connect. It doesn't start when you begin communicating back and forth, okay? The instant you hit send, you've started the relationship. And you probably don't need me to tell you that first impressions matter, and yet a ton of freelancers are still skipping the personalized note. I'm talking about this guy. Here comes a little bit of tough love. Most freelancers skip this out of pure laziness. Adding that note takes a few extra seconds of your time, and who has time for that? You do. You do. I know you do. And you know you do. And I know that you do. Let's talk about how we can make this quick and painless, but effective. First, a few tips. Tip number one, keep it short. If you are sending an invite to a total stranger, which is usually going to be the case, they have no reason to read a very long message from you. They don't know you, they don't care yet. So normally when I'm adding the note to my invites, I will say something like, "Hi, name. I'm reaching out regarding brand names, blog." And if you don't know me yet, this is because I'm selling my writing services. There's another reason you want to keep this simple. When you personalize that note in your invite and that person accepts, the note becomes the first message in your direct message conversation, in your private conversation with them. So once they accept, if you were to go back to their profile and open the message box, you're going to see the note that you originally added. Keep in mind here, the reason this all matters is that a lot of people aren't going to respond to that note. They're just going to accept your invite and then not say anything. So you are then going to have to go back and message them again. So whatever you put in that note, you want to be mindful of, okay, I might be messaging them again back to back. So you want to make sure that those two messages back to back don't sound funky. Do not sell. Do not use the note as an opportunity to sell your services. It's too fast, it's too aggressive, it's not going to work. Tip number two, use a template. I talk about that in this video. Even though you want to keep the note short, you can still shave off a few seconds. By having a template, you can just even keep it in a note on your computer, and you can copy paste it over and plug in the few details that you need to personalize. And that brings me to the next tip. Tip number three, personalize it. Do not copy paste a generic note that has no personalization to it whatsoever. The lead is going to know. It's very obvious. It looks cheap and disingenuous, and it's going to make your leads feel like a number and not a human being, and nobody likes that. How many LinkedIn invites should you be sending per week? Well, currently, at the time of this video, LinkedIn allows you to send up to 100 invites every week. Does that mean you should? No. Especially if your profile has been mostly inactive up until this point, if you immediately go from 0 to 100 and you start maxing out those invites every week, LinkedIn will very likely look at that as spam. They might send you a warning. They might even temporarily lock your account. What I always tell my students in Revenue Spark is to start low, start with a low number of invites, and then ramp it up gradually over time. This is going to look a lot more natural to LinkedIn than if you were to start recklessly sending out invites, okay? They want the behavior on their platform to look like it's coming from a human, not a bot. All right, let's keep going. There's another kind of smaller detail that a lot of freelancers are missing, which this one I totally get, but it's another reason why you want to be really strategic when you're sending invites. Now, if you send too many invites out, well, hold on, I'm already wording this wrong. If you send invites out and too many people are not accepting them, LinkedIn notices. For example, and I'm making these numbers up, let's say you send out 100 invites and 98 people ignore you. These are hypothetical numbers. LinkedIn might look at that and be like, well, what's going on here? This person is sending a lot of invites and no one wants to connect with them. And it looks like a red flag to them. Now, we don't know the exact numbers. We don't know, the percentage of how many invites can be ignored before LinkedIn takes notice. To my knowledge, and I did look this up, LinkedIn's never shared that number. I have never hit that. I've never run into that issue. My students have never run into that issue because we are very intentional with who we're sending invites to. But it's just something to be aware of. And it's another reason why you don't want to go and send out invites en masse, because you're kind of putting yourself in a vulnerable position. Here's a simple way to kind of protect yourself from that. Send invites to people other than leads, okay? I've said a million times before that LinkedIn is a tool, and my students and I largely use it to connect with leads, but you don't want to only do that strictly. If you also network with other people still in your field, you're going to give yourself a little bit of cushion, because leads understandably might not accept your invite because they know that you're going to sell them something. This is going to happen no matter what platform you're using, but people that you're connecting with just to connect are going to be a lot likelier to accept your invite because they know that you're not trying to get anything out of them. So to give you another example, again, I'm a writer. I will connect with other writers, editors, SEOs, various people in marketing departments. Still be mindful of this. Don't connect with anyone just for the sake of doing it. But again, network with people outside of leads as well to give yourself a little cushion. Here's something really cool about LinkedIn invites. They expire after 6 months. So if you send an invitation to a lead and 6 months go by and they don't accept it, you can send it again. It refreshes. My students in Revenue Spark and I track all of this information in the spreadsheet that I've built out for them, so we always know where every lead stands. We know when that 6-month mark is coming up so that we can re-invite them. Now, you can withdraw a connection. Do not do that just to send it again. That is spammy. A lot of people will tell you that landing clients as a freelancer is mostly a numbers game. Is it somewhat a numbers game? Yes, definitely. And especially if you're using a method more like cold emailing, it's going to be much more of a numbers game. However, I will die on this hill. No amount of invites, no amount of cold emails can make up for low quality. Quantity can never replace quality. You gotta have both. Slow down a little bit, do it the right way, and your results are going to be better. You're going to find that you can send fewer LinkedIn invites and close more deals when you pay a little more attention to quality. If you're a freelancer and you would like more guidance on anything we talked about in this video, then I have a LinkedIn group specifically for freelancers like you. I will drop that link in the description below. I'd love to have you there. And if you want to copy my complete process for landing clients from A to Z, then you might be interested in my program, Revenue Spark. I will also leave that link below. If you would like to move on to the next step and talk about possibly enrolling, you can book a call to speak with me. If you're still here, it's because you found this video helpful, and I'd be very grateful if you could support my channel and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, just drop them in a comment, and I'll see you next time.